different clothing, different colors, different names. The different is only dangerous when we forget that in the heart we're all the same. And we'll remember once we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth, or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. It's the power of the love in you and me. One power. Oh.
My name is Ray Stoffel, and it is my privilege to be with you this morning to lead this virtual service. You know, as a speaker by now, after all these months, you would think that I have become used to having no bodies in the pews, but that is not the case. I still miss seeing your faces. But as we always say, I do know where you sit. So I can imagine you here with me this morning, as you can. So take just a moment and let your mind's eye find that place where you sit, see the people that sit behind you, in front of you, and beside you, and receive the love that is in this room, because we know that although we must socially distance, we are connected heart to heart. So in this connection, in this time and place, let us begin with the reading of the daily word. The word is prosperity. I claim prosperity now. When I feel tempted to wish for a more prosperous life, I remember my prosperity begins at the level of my thinking. I focus my thoughts on the many blessings already in my life, and I feel grateful. From this place of gratitude, it becomes easy to notice more and more blessings all around me. This awareness helps me develop an attitude of prosperity. I tend to my thoughts of prosperity as though they were flowers in a garden. I plant them with good soil and nurture them with water and sunshine. This rich environment allows prospering ideas to take root and to grow. As I nurture these ideas, I am abundantly blessed in life, love, health, and joy. And from Psalms 36:8, they feast on the abundance of your house, and you give them drink from the river of your delights. You will hear me speak about prosperity a little bit later in my talk. But as I prepared the talk, it became clear to me that prosperity really is a state of mind. It is holding on to the positive thoughts and allowing them to grow as we nurture them. Again, just take a moment, if you will, and just hold our community in love and light. As we go forward in this week together, let us know that we are connected and that we support each other, even though we can't be next to one another. And as you will, please, we now say our statement of being, and you can find that on your screen. God is all, both visible and invisible, one presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am an individualized expression of God. I am ever one with this perfect love, life, perfect love, and perfect substance. Thank you. We do have a few announcements. Discussion groups continue online. Please check the church email for links, and there's a reminder that the Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock group, that has a new link, so please make sure that you're connected to that. The social justice groups continue, and there is a suggested reading for this week because the class will meet on Monday and Wednesday of this week. If you're having technical difficulties, leave a message with your church office, and then we could get back to you and see if we can solve that. There are wonderful daily inspirations on our Facebook page, so please, if you have that, check those out. Also, follow us on Instagram. There is a coffee hour after service, so please, you can do that through your Zoom link, and it'll get you to the opportunity for fellowship. And there may be prayer chaplains available to you, so you could pray with a prayer chaplain privately during that time if you'd like. And finally, we will schedule a town hall meeting. It is scheduled for the last Sunday in January, which is the 31st at 12:30. And again, we will send you a Zoom link. We'd like to welcome today's guests. If you are new to us, please know that if you were in this room, you would be surrounded with people that would offer you friendship and comfort. So please, thank you for being with us, and we hope to see you again. Unity is a positive, practical approach to Christianity. We are culturally Christian and spiritually unlimited. We honor the many paths to God. If you are a new-time visitor or first-time visitor, please contact us and give us some information so we can better serve you. Now is the time for our 5 basic principles. Unity teachings, we believe in 5 basic principles, and we try to live into those principles. The first is that God is the source and creator of all. God is good and present everywhere. The second is that God is spiritual. We are spiritual beings created in God's image. 3, we create our life experience through our way of thinking. 4, there is power in affirmative prayer. And 5, we live these spiritual principles. Take a moment just now to reflect on how one of those might have shown up in your life this week. And if you would like to, send us an email, connect with the church office if you'd like to share those thoughts and feelings with us. Thank you. Unity was founded on prayer. So at this time, we will bless our intentions. So hold that intention in your heart, your mind. Normally, we would put little slips of paper in here. So this morning, as we hold those intentions in our mind, let us seek peace. Let us seek peace, that place within us that allows us to know a peace that surpasses all understanding. That place that we seek in prayer and meditation that allows us to know that all is well, allows us to know that we will be given whatever it is we need on this day. And for that we say, thank you, God. Now, normally I would move into my lesson. So today's a little bit different. I will talk to you for a few minutes. Then we're going to go into prayer and meditation for a few minutes and listen to some beautiful music by Daniel Nahmod. And then I'll come back and complete my lesson. Before meditation, there's something that I need to ask for. Something has been on my mind, and I wasn't quite sure if I needed to do this or not. So I searched for some guidance. I talked to Sally. I listened to last Sunday service, which was our White Stone ceremony, and Tommy B. led us into that service, and he cited this passage, "Seek and ye shall find, and ask and it shall be given." And then after service, I sat down and I read the Sunday paper, which I always read, the little spiritual inspiration. And last Sunday, it was written by Roberta Yakel, who is a Unity minister that many of us know. And she put into words some of my thoughts. So I decided that this was mine to do. Today's daily word is prosperity. I claim prosperity now. And I will use that actually as our affirmation for the week. Claiming our prosperity, our sense of abundance, is a demonstration of that first principle that tells us that there will always be enough. And our second principle that lets us know that we will always be enough. It stems from our understanding of gratitude and grace. It is embedded in the law of attraction, and therefore it is reciprocal, but we will always receive more than we give. We know that to be true. Now, often I think that the prosperity is measured externally, that it becomes a reflection of what we have or what we own. And this is untrue. Prosperity is internal. We can also believe that those people that give quite a lot of themselves have a deeper level of faith. This is also untrue. My lesson this morning will be about faith and doubt. We can believe that prosperity is a measure, a byproduct of our faith, but I'm going to suggest that it might be a result of our doubt, a reflection of our doubting those teachings about enoughness. So I'm going to ask you to consider this. The majority of us will have received or will get a check, if we haven't already, from the government for $600 as a COVID relief check. To me, it is an unexpected blessing. I didn't have to earn it. I'm not guaranteed it. It was truly a financial windfall. It was a blessing. So I'm asking you to donate a portion of that check to the church. The suggested donation will be a full tithe of 10% or $60. And I use that amount because we are a tithing church. Every month we give 10% of our offerings away. We send it back out into the community in a demonstration that we will believe in the power of prosperity. So as we are blessed, we bless others. And we used to do this all the time at the beginning of the month. We would tell you where the tithes for last month went. So I contacted Kathy. So we always give to Silent Unity, and we give to Worldwide Unity, and we give to our Eastern region. Those are the places in Unity that support us. But we also donated to a church in North Carolina. It was Crystal Coast Unity Church. And then locally, we donated to Helping Hounds, which is an animal rescue. So I considered this, and then I did the math. If each one of us that are just registered members of this church did this, we would raise half of the money that we are trying to raise for our sanctuary improvement. Half of the money from one unexpected blessing. And I'm going to ask you to do this on top of your regular giving. You see, your regular tithes and givings goes to the general fund, and that takes care of our operations. But this giving would be designated for the sanctuary restoration. So if you choose to do this, please note that on your giving or on your check so that Kathy will know that the money can go there. What I will ask you also to consider is this. Maybe you can't give at a full 10%. Part of my talk today, I use Eric Butterworth as a teacher. And he talks about knowing ourselves, which includes knowing our boundaries. So maybe 10% is a step too far, but maybe 1 or 3 or 5 will work for you. But I will ask you to take one step past your comfort zone, one step past your doubt. Now, if your need is greater than your ability to give, please still participate with us. Hold this idea in prayer, see it successful. Affirm for Unity of Syracuse, claim the prosperity now. So I thank you, and I'll leave you with that thought. And now we will enter into a time of prayer and meditation. And I will simply ask you to take this into thought. What is mine to do? That is the question I almost always take into prayer and meditation. What is mine to do? So let yourself become comfortable. Find yourself in that chair just sinking, allowing yourself to be supported. And if you will this morning, put your hands on your lap, palms up, signifying that we are ready to receive. Empty hands, ready to receive. As we take that first breath in together and release it, let yourself release all the anxiety I just caused you a few minutes ago. Take another deep breath and let go of any negative thoughts that you may be having, any feelings of anxiety you may be having, and allow yourself to just be present and to be grateful. Allow yourself to be grateful, for we are blessed to have this time together, you and I. We are blessed to have this time together to go into the silence to seek, with open hands ready to receive. So as we settle into this time of meditation and the beautiful music of Daniel Nahman, allow yourself to ask, what is mine to do.
When my hands were empty, when my hope was gone, I couldn't help but wonder, what had I done wrong? And even though my heart was broken, there was no need to despair, 'cause a vessel must be open to put something better there. Oh yeah, into my empty hands, gently you pour new life for me. Yours is a perfect plan. The ups and the downs were meant to be. Now I understand, you needed my empty hands. So forgive me when I doubted, sometimes I do, or consider giving up, 'cause I cannot see the truth. I know I'll never go without it, if I only look at you. Deep and abiding love, alright, into my empty hand, gently you pour new life for me. Yours is a perfect plan. The ups and the downs were meant to be. And I cannot help but cry to think of the gifts you've given me. Now I understand, you needed my empty hand.
I just think that is a absolutely gorgeous tune. And it reminds me that I will always be given what I need. And I hope that is your truth. So, has this ever happened to you? You kind of had a rough week and you've just settled into your favorite chair. You got your popcorn, you know. You're about 20 minutes into the movie, whatever it is, a romance or suspense or comedy or whatever it is that you're looking forward to. When suddenly your TV freezes and that little wheelie thing starts spinning around and the word buffering comes up with a code that says error 46, like some crazy code that makes absolutely no sense. And then you get this message: this program is not available at this moment. Please try again later or contact your service provider. And you think, not available? I was just connected to it. Now let me ask you this. What's the first thing that you do in that moment? Are you like my husband? You start pushing all the buttons on the clicker and you know that it's going to make it worse, but at least you're doing something? Or are you like me? You swear at the television and then you yell at Paul because he must have done something wrong. He must have caused this. But the truth is that we've done nothing to cause this. And yet now we have a problem and we must decide. Do we simply forget about the whole thing? Or do we give in and call the dreaded service provider? Now you've all made those calls, where the lovely voice comes on and they ask you all the wrong questions. And you speak your answers or you push the appropriate buttons until finally the lovely voice says, "Oh, I'm sorry, there isn't a problem in your area, so this must be internal. Hold on and I'll connect you with the tech department, the IT guy." And now you breathe a little easier because at least you've reached the IT guy. Well, I think sometimes, quite often, our spiritual journeys work the same way. We find ourselves in a place in life where we're comfortable and we are settled in. We are looking forward to watching the movie of our lives unfold because all is well. This is a good place. When suddenly our life freezes and that little wheel in our heads, that starts spinning around and we get buffered around. We get buffered because we really do not understand what has happened here. So maybe you swear a little, or you blame somebody else for making this happen. Until you get that little message in your head. You are experiencing error thinking, and this is error number 1. It is an internal problem, and you must contact your service provider. You must contact IT, it. It being whatever word you use for God. And I use the word God because it works for me. G-O-D is good, orderly direction. I have discovered that whenever I am feeling lost or disconnected, that I can rely on good, orderly direction to bring me to that place of knowing what is mine to do. This morning, I will share with you thoughts on faith and on doubt, which in faith is a power of our month, okay? And then what I'd like you to do is to allow yourself to hear the word that works for you. Maybe you use God, maybe another word, but as Daniel told us in the song, it doesn't make any difference. Call it what you want. There's only one power. Now, I know it's January, and I do know that the power of the month is faith. But I really couldn't find myself in good conscience standing before you this morning and talking only about faith to people that have experienced 2020. Because there's been plenty of lessons on faith. So I chose instead to talk about error number 1, which I believe is doubt. Therefore, the title is Divine Doubt. You might find the word divine odd connected to doubt. Because doubt is the thing that causes our life to freeze. It does cause us to lose connection, to lose our way, and to forget our true nature. Doubt is the other still small voice. It's the one that robs us of our sense of wholeness and prosperity. Those messages of not enough, not having enough, not being enough. Those messages that prevent us from participating in a greater good. Those messages that were planted by other people usually, but we are the ones that play them over and over again. Doubt is the other mustard seed. It is insidiously small. So we rarely sense it at first, but like faith, it will grow when fed and morph into something larger and more powerful. It'll morph into anxiety and worry and fear. Now, I believe that what we witnessed in the Capitol on Wednesday was exactly that. It was a doubt, a sliver of doubt that had been planted and fed and fed. And we witnessed what it became. So the question is this. In that moment, I felt my life freeze a little bit. I felt the disconnection as I was trying to make sense of what I was watching on my television. And we do have a problem, it would seem. But the question is not political. The question that has left us on Wednesday is a question of choice. What is mine to do? Will I strengthen doubt by judging and condemning? Or will I take one step closer to standing in love? By offering love without condition, will I embrace the power of love that is you and me? That's a tall order. It will require great courage. We know the power of doubt, but most of us spend more time there than I think we imagine. This is what I found as I began to prepare for this lesson. First, the poet Susie Kasem wrote this: Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will, end quote. Now that sense of enoughness that prevents us from a dream from ever having a chance, we can see that happening. I think that stops us from believing in our infinite possibilities. And based on all that, you would think that doubt is just a human construct. But I also found this quote: "If one hesitates in his path, let him not proceed. Let him respect his doubts, for doubts too may have some divinity in them." That's Henry David Thoreau. So it's my intention this morning to look for the truth that might be held in that statement. Now, many of us came here in search of something this morning. We have come with good intention to spend a little time with it, maybe to pray, to learn, to understand, to strengthen and affirm our faith. We are taught here that seeking a path to God is a good thing. We are taught here to honor the many paths to God. So where and how we seek God is valued in this room. But seeking is not truth. Once we decide to follow the unity path, which we call a positive, practical approach to Christianity, we try to live into those 5 principles. The first principle being that God exists in all things and is therefore always and everywhere present. While accepting this truth is essential if you're going to progress in unity teachings, simply believing is not faith. The second principle states that there is within each one of us a spark of divinity. That's also the essence of God. We are taught here that we are individualized expressions of God, perfect representations of that presence. And again, knowing is essential, but knowing is not faith. It's not until our third and fourth principles that faith is given a chance to really take hold. So I'm going to read from, this is from the Advent book that we had during Advent, and this was a writing from December 26th. Faith isn't necessarily something that arrives one day with a giant bang. Rather, it's potential that grows, expands, is encouraged, and comes to life when invited. It is a divine idea, an expression of your divine identity through your humanity, end quote. This is a statement of our first 2 principles. The first being divine idea, then divine identity. But expression lies solidly within the realm of our humanity. As we examine our thoughts and delve into our deeper selves through the practice of prayer and meditation, we do that. We encourage, we invite, we expand. We as individuals, we as humanity, we as a collective consciousness, we expand. We discover that we can be more than we thought we could be as individuals and as a whole. The reading continues. Faith allows us to welcome our doubts and fears, yet remain true to our hearts, to be courageous beyond measure. It is the conviction of the heart well formed. And that's a lovely thought, but even there, faith is not fully realized. For faith is an action word. Faith without works is dead. That is James 2:14 through 26. It's a wonderful passage that reminds us that we can all claim to be people of faith. But if we come upon someone who is in need and we do not assist or comfort to the best of our ability, then that faith has not served us. It has not been allowed to function the way it's supposed to, because faith creates. This is a passage about not enoughness and its ability to prevent a greater good. For our convictions to be realized, there must be demonstration. And demonstration rests solely in the hands of you and me. While faith may begin as a divine idea, it is meaningless until we do something with it. While faith provides intention, it is us as men and women who are the activity of God. Often, the activity of God will require us to be courageous. For faith to be functional, it must be lived, and that is our 5th principle. In his book, Practical Metaphysics, Eric Butterworth reminds us that having faith has nothing to do with seeking or believing in God. So I'm going to paraphrase the chapter. But if you haven't read that book or that chapter, it's wonderful. Faith is a truth. It's a given. It's found in every man and woman, whether they recognize it or not. Believing in God, or of any form of it, is not required for faith to be present. Faith is one of the 12 powers of man as outlined by our co-founder, Charles Fillmore. Each one of us has the ability to cultivate that faith, but there is no possessing more or less faith. So in truth, there really is no ye of little faith. There is only ye who does not use the power of faith wisely. Faith is not a panacea. It doesn't create miracles for us. Good things don't happen to us solely because we believe. Good things happen to us because we align ourselves with good thoughts, good intentions, and then we act upon them. So true to our third principle, we pay attention to our thoughts and we align ourselves with the greater good. Butterworth tells us that once aligned, faith has no option. It must comply. That is the spiritual law. That is the function of faith, again, to create, to bring into being the possibility, but only the possibility, for reality is determined by you and me as we follow through. Butterworth reminds us that faith as a function will attach to whatever thoughts we hold in mind. So he advises us to use and seek a positive faith. We can, if not conscious of our thoughts, attach to the negative, and faith will create as it must and bring about the possibility for that negative outcome. It is possible to put your faith in lack, and then that's what you will experience. If you do follow our Facebook page, you might remember that last week, Jacob wrote really eloquently about misplacing his trust and the disappointment he experienced through those choices. He told us of the lessons that he learned along the way, but his growth existed within his disappointment. He talked of learning how to see differently. And we do get to choose what we see. We can choose to see doubt and misplaced trust as an impediment, or we can see them as a function of choice and change. So what is the function of doubt in our lives? I think there's probably many. I think it's doubt that asks this question: do you really want to do that? That offers us the chance to think again, to think before we act. Doubt can be that safety valve that is a sense of our intuition. And I think that while doubt has certainly killed dreams, it has probably prevented a lot of disasters as well. There are those who doubt God altogether. Some claim that seeking God is a form of escape. Now, I honor that path as well. However, I choose to believe differently. Faith is not an escape from reality. We do not seek a time away from God to avoid life. Just the opposite is true. We seek time away with God so we can be more fully present to life. Faith keeps us grounded in reality. Faith is the power that allows us to be present to the darkest parts of life, allows us to experience the pain of life, the ugliness of the human condition, and not be overwhelmed by it all. Faith is the thing that allows us to stand squarely in the center of the world's chaos, knowing that we still have something to give, something to contribute that will make the world a better place. Butterworth reminds us that faith at its best is not knowing that we believe in God, but knowing that God believes in us. It is not our belief in God that we need to rely on, but a faith that comes from God that will make all the difference. But doesn't doubt prevent that from happening? I don't think so. Last week in the service, Dana talked about potential. That was the word last Sunday. And she referred to the vastness and beauty of the evening sky. So I pictured big sky country in Montana where there's little ambient light and it's just gorgeous. It allows for a truly stunning display of the universe. But the majesty of the stars is only possible when seen against the darkness of the night. So we have to embrace the whole thing to experience the wonder. And then Tommy led us through the white stone ceremony. And first he told us to touch the stone and to feel its smoothness, its perfection. And then he said, feel that it is pitted. feel the imperfection. That is where we're to write our name for 2021 on a stone that symbolizes our truth, that there is imperfection within the ideal. So too, we must embrace it all. For wholeness is not just embracing the light in us, but also our shadow sides. We must embrace and welcome to the table our doubt. Don't worry, you're going to be in good company, because the Bible's full of doubters. First, there's Thomas, of course, doubting Thomas, who dared to speak what 10 other men were probably thinking, demanding to be shown and learning, like our friend Jacob, that sometimes you must believe in order to see. And then Peter, of course, the apostle that is attached to this month's power of faith. In a moment of demonstration, he steps out onto the water to walk to Jesus. And then in a moment of doubt, he looks down, negating infinite possibility by affirming the impossible. His lesson was not rooted in his first step. His lesson was learned as he faltered. It is when we falter that we are most likely to journey inward. We do not bring just our faith with us as we journey inward. We bring our doubt. Those pieces of us that are broken, that need assistance and comfort and healing. It is our doubt, not our faith. It is our doubt that makes us seek faith. It is doubt that keeps us coming back. It's doubt that keeps us seeking. It is doubt that stops us in our tracks and makes us rethink our thoughts. It's doubt that gives us pause, and maybe in that moment, a moment of clarity that will allow us to know what is mine to do. It is doubt that will lead us to the very edges of our human comprehension and then tell us to push the limit. It is doubt that requires us to speak the simplest but most difficult of prayers. Help me. We are like the father of the possessed boy who stands before Jesus and says, I believe, help my unbelief. And that's from Mark 9:24. It is not faith, but doubt that brings about the journey inward, because it is doubt that creates the void, that emptiness that we can feel at times. But then it is also doubt that pushes us down the path with empty hands that are willing to be helped, willing to change, willing to become more than we could imagine. That is the divinity of doubt. It leads us to discover our higher selves. And I believe that this has been a consistent message of our experiences in the year 2020, that we can be more, that we can be courageous beyond measure, that we can embrace the most difficult moments of the human experience and still know that we will continue to rise, to thrive, and to reach the potential as we learn to believe in ourselves and each other, to believe in ourselves and each other. I believe that the events in the Capitol on Wednesday were a stark reminder to do just that, to believe in ourselves and each other. Because that too, my friends, is prosperity. Doubt will step away when we claim our wholeness. And it allows faith to take that journey back out, because faith is the journey back out into life where we demonstrate the promise of becoming, back out into life to live even as we continue to wonder. Now, most of us have come here this morning in search of something that would improve our lives or help us to be better people. But what I want you to leave here knowing this morning is that you possessed it before you sat down to log into this lesson. Embrace your doubt. Search. Go looking for the thing that you need today and claim it. You're probably going to find it in the shadows. I want you to know before you leave here that prosperity is not a tangible. It's a state of mind that is rooted in those first two principles. There will always be enough, and you and I will always be more than we can imagine. I want you to leave here knowing that you will be given whatever you need to do what you are being called to do, even when it requires courage beyond measure. So I have taken this week's affirmation from the Daily Word, I claim prosperity now. Because I could think of no better way to start the year 2021 than for us to claim our wholeness. So take with you whatever it is you need and leave the rest. Put it to use, practice it, and remember throughout the week that you can always rely on it. Thank you. Our unity statement, Unity of Syracuse inspires, awakens, and transforms lives through unlimited love, prayer, and service. And I know that to be true. Now is the time for our tithes and love offerings. If possible, if you would like to donate, you can use the button on the website, or you can mail your gift to Unity of Syracuse. That's 300 West Seneca Turnpike, Syracuse 13207. You could, if you'd like, sign up through the office and have regular electronic giving, and we'll send you the paperwork to do that. So this morning, I will pray over these things. I will pray over my monthly tithe. I will include the check for the sanctuary. And I also have it here, a check from my friend Victoria, who has chosen to help support that effort. So thank you to her. So as you hold your thoughts or your gift in hand, please let's say our blessing. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. You are our source. Blessing of our children, please. There is a meeting every Sunday at 10 o'clock. It's a Zoom meeting for youth and family ministry. So should you have a child that you'd like to have them connect, please leave a message and we'll let you know how to do that. And you can find that in the constant contact message as well. So let's bless our children wherever they are. We bless our children wherever they are. We see them surrounded by love and light throughout the week. And we really are blessed to have a wonderful teaching staff, so thank you for that. And we will close this morning with our prayer for protection. And again, it should be on your screen. The light of God surrounds us. We are the light. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love. The power of God protects us. We are the power. The presence of God watches over us. We are the presence. Wherever God is, and all is well. So thank you for spending this time with us. Please go about your week and know that you are blessed. Hope to see you again. Be safe. Wash your hands. Keep the faith. Thank you.